Yes.
Episode 19. See, I knew what episode it was the whole time. I didn't have to ask James just now. Welcome to
Sure you did.
episode 19 of not the Walmart Sellers podcast anymore, Arbitrage Radio. We have a guest on tonight that I'm really, really excited to talk about. Somebody I've been following for a while, and I'm extremely jealous of. I'm sitting here in my basement listing stuff, and he's out riding elephants and going to exotic places and has been to every Hyatt in the world, I think. And anyways, without further ado, Matt Canton, how the heck are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm actually on a little break here. I'm in my hometown right now for a couple months, and I'll be here. I'm kind of just regrouping, and then I'll probably make another trip out to Southeast Asia. I'm getting excited. I'm gonna actually do my first business class redemption. I'm flying Qatar Q Suites out to Saigon
Shut
here at
up.
the end
That
of
is
September.
crazy.
Wow.
I want to be you when I grow up. That's so amazing. That's like I know. So for context, everybody, whenever I asked Matt to come on, he was like, "Dude, I don't want to come on your podcast and look at Keepa charts and talk about the ups and downs of how to be a reseller. I want to talk about what reselling has allowed me to do, and I'm like super that's amazing. Like I need to do a better job with that stuff, but I see the stuff you're doing. I see the places you're going, and like you're a reseller, right? I mean, you have like a reselling business, like you're like that's like something that's
Yeah.
and then you use the credit card points and the wizardry of American Express and Hyatt and all these places to like. You said you're flying with the Prince of Saudi Arabia or something. I don't even know what you said because I don't even know what that is. I've only been on a plane once. So like, what's the motto? How do you get in? Like, how do you get into that?
Yeah, so I forget, I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name, but he's that new partner with the Hormozy couple. His like Shiravza or something. But anyway, he spoke recently about something called stacking, and I think it 100% applies here. Basically, the premise is you learn how to resell something, then you learn how to resell a little better. So you stack that sort of tool. You stack that sort of skill. Same thing with credit. If you're already reselling, you might as well like do everything you can to make that 1.5 to up to 5% on top of what you're already going to do anyway. Well, if you really want to travel, then you might as well take it to double the value you get in terms of the travel. So for me, it was really just about that. Like I didn't know that at the time until I saw like the video or clip or whatever, but I think it 100% applies in this case. Like that's the reason why I do it, and because it's fun to me. The thing that is most important to me when it comes to just living life, traveling, having fun is not sacrificing my freedom. So like everything that I've done from the time that I dropped out of college at like 18 or 19 or 20 was is like has created the life that I wanted without sacrificing the most important things to me. So that's freedom. So yeah, to answer your question, like what really has motivated me to like pursue like travel hacking or whatever is because more or less I've just become somewhat professional reseller, I guess, and it's just like stacking the skills that I have, and it's just like really fun for me, and I have high spend anyway, so I can do the cool stuff that most people only just aspire to do.
That's amazing. So it's like, why not? I'm already spending, whatever XYZ amount on shoes from blah, blah, blah. Why not do the Rakuten, do the credit card points, figure out how to connect the dots so you can ride elephants into the sunset and whatnot?
Yeah, and honestly, what I tell people mostly is when you get started, like just play the chase game and you literally just use your points for Hyatts. Like whether or not it's like a nice place or not, use your points. You're probably not going to have status, so you will pay things like resort fees,
Hmm.
parking. Sometimes there's an extra, like maybe breakfast or whatnot. But I talked about it a little bit, but I really don't think people even know you can buy what's called a guest of honor award, and then especially when you're staying at like really anything except for like a Hyatt Place or a Hyatt House, you can apply it to your reservation. You'll get treated like a globalist for that stay up to 7 nights, and that can be worth a lot of money. So say I stayed at the Hyatt Regency, I don't know, somewhere around San Juan, Puerto Rico or something. And the breakfast for two people is like, 60, 70, $80 a person a day. And then on top of that, resort fees, you're talking like $100 a day just between breakfast and resort fees. If you can buy a guest of honor award for 60, $70, apply it to your reservation, and you like save all of that money. That's just one example of like just an easy redemption where you can get so much value out of your points, as opposed to like trying to dance around and like find flights through transfer partners and all that stuff, where it gets really messy and you actually need to know really what you're doing. So
Why?
I don't know if that was your question, but hopefully that answered it.
Why Hyatt's specifically?
Because it's the best transfer partner that exists in the game. Like between, well, what was originally Chase and Hyatt, but now it's also built in Hyatt, it's just there's so much availability, and the redemption is so easy. You can just go on the app, toggle on the switch for points, and book your stuff. And then on the, between Chase and Hyatt, all you have to do is just connect the accounts. It's pretty self-explanatory,
Gotcha.
as it is with any of the other transfer partners. But the main thing is it's because it's so easy to find availability. Like if you compare it to flights, for example, a lot of the availability is hidden. It's hidden in routes between different airports. Sometimes, you have to find in a lot of cases, what's called Saver Award availability, and it just gets very complicated. But because with airlines, there's really three main alliances, and for example, like Qatar Airlines and British Airways fall into the same alliance, and there's situations many times where you could be booking a British Airways flight on Qatar because the points are cheaper, but the flight is the same. Gotcha. So you get all these like weird little nuances or whatever with flights, but with the hotels, it's really easy and really simple because there's so much award availability. Unless you're like really starting to get towards like the higher end luxury stuff.
I've never had a points card before. We rock just one, so we just have the stereotypical plum card because it suits our needs, and we haven't really dived into any of the points cards before.
Really? Have any of you guys spoken about on the podcast the Hyatt Business Credit Card?
No. We never talk about anything with credit cards.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Oh my gosh, this card. This card is so overpowered for people like us. I mean, if you're spending even like $50,000 a year, this can be very beneficial for you. So the Hyatt Business Credit Card is like $200 annual fee a year, and it has some multipliers like on your two highest spend categories. I don't know, they're not like really that great. That's not really why I focus on them. But anyway, you earn with Hyatt there. It's like I said, the easiest redemption. Like 90+% of my points go to Hyatt just because I travel all the time, and I'll go to a place just to stay at the Hyatt just because it's interesting, especially when I'm overseas, because they're actually, well, for lack of a better word, worth visiting. So anyway, yes, this Hyatt Business Credit Card, it just earns 1 point per dollar spent, so nothing crazy there. But the real catch is with the card, you get 5 qualifying nights to Hyatt for every $10,000 that you spend. Wow. So 60 qualifying nights earns you globalist status for the year. And that's the minimum amount of qualifying nights that you need to earn globalist status for the year. It resets at the end of February of each year. So like it just reset a couple months ago, and so I've already earned it, and then I'll have it through February 2027, I believe. Wow. I think. So like at the end of, okay, I forget exactly how it works, but I think like I just earned, so it reset in February, but I had it through the end of 2026 February. But like I have to earn it through 2027 again. You know what I mean? So like from this point right now, I have like 18, 20 months until I would lose the status. So
you're like earning ahead of time basically for like the next year.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so I didn't do a very good job of explaining it, but basically qualifying nights there's two ways to earn qualifying nights. By staying at a Hyatt property, just one night you stay is one qualifying night, or spending your way there. And then
Mm-hmm.
also I think the personal card does give you like 5 qualifying nights if you hold the card, or maybe something like that. I could be wrong, but basically the strategy is, especially for resellers and people with high spend and whatever else, is stay at Hyatt's, like enjoy your points, don't hoard them, and then whatever you need, just spend your way to status, and you're gonna earn status, like enjoy your points even more, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. And then, like in my case, what I've done is you earn awards on your way to status.
Mm.
So unofficially, you'll earn things. I'll say, like unofficially, off the record, you do as you please, you do as you choose, but you can gift someone like awards. So, for example, like if you go on eBay, you can search like Hyatt Guest of Honor like award, and you can buy it, and someone can
Huh.
gift it to you in exchange for a gift of selling it on eBay, aka it's looked down upon.
Sure.
And I've heard people say like there definitely is risk to it, and I'm sure there's some validity behind that. So, you know, do at your own risk.
Sure.
But you just by, for example, like you can earn, I think on your way to status, maybe 6 Sweet Upgrade awards. Those are worth upwards of $100 a pop.
Oh wow.
So after you're clearing, whatever selling fees and stuff, like you're looking at least $70, $80 each one. So that more than pays for your annual fee. And then you can even spend your way higher and all the way up to with the status with 150 nights, which honestly I haven't seen anyone do, but you can earn some pretty crazy stuff. Once you get up over 100, you can earn what's called Miraval free nights. And I believe there's only 3 or 4 properties in the whole world. One is in Massachusetts, one's in Austin, one's in Scottsdale, and I think they're making one in Saudi Arabia. But basically, these are like 60,000 point, like chase point a night properties. These are
Wow.
like significantly more expensive than like the most expensive all inclusive that Hyatt has.
Interesting.
And yeah, so if you make it your way to 150 qualifying nights through spend or stay, I think at 150 you earn like a free night award at a Miraval, but then like from 100 to like 140, you earn, I don't know the exact language for it, but it's like a stackable night. So you need like that free night certificate from from earning that the 150 qualifying nights, but then you can stack the ones that you earned at like 100, 110, 120, 130, 140 on top of that, if that makes sense. So you like theoretically could have like 5 free nights at a Miraval resort, which is going to be, I mean, like
Crazy.
65,000 points a night at with a hotel chain that's has extremely strong points. So the fact that you're paying that much or potentially getting like value for that much is like crazy. I haven't really heard anyone talk about it. In the back of my head, I'm kind of like thinking about, do I go for it? Do I not go for it?
Sure.
I probably should run like some chat GPT math and like compare like the 1 cent per point over to if I just ran all my spend through my unlimited at 1.5 cents per point, and like look at what the difference would be and like what kind of
Yeah.
value I'm getting and all that. But I think that's unnecessary. I think I probably won't go for it, and it's better for me to just go after some other sign up bonuses with cards and stuff because I've been getting pretty heavy into that. There's just one Facebook group called 10x Travel, and they have probably at least 100,000 um, members. And let me tell you, like, I have learned a lot about credit cards and this let's call it skill stacking that I was talking about earlier.
Hmm.
This is like one thing where it just by simply learning it is like taken me from like just a guy who just arbitrages random stuff on the internet to um a guy who arbitrages random stuff on the internet to do cool shit that like no one in my hometown has been able to do,
Yeah.
and And then also they're sitting there wondering like, how the heck did he just do that?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like to me, that's the cool stuff. And just through like watching YouTube videos, and honestly, recently just by reading through people's posts on this Facebook group, you learn so much. Because I'll just search a Facebook group like a card I'm interested in right now is the Capital One Venture and the Capital One Venture X, and I'm just like seeing like the Capital One Venture X and the Capital One Venture X business. So that I could be wrong, but I think like the Capital One Venture X business is the sign up bonus is 150,000 when you spend 30 grand in 3 months, and then when you spend a total of 200 grand in 6 months, it's an additional 200,000. Plus, you're earning 2x on every dollar that you spend.
Oh
If that
wow.
makes sense. So you
Yeah.
need to
That's
spend a
exciting to
total
me.
of yeah. So you need to spend a total of $200,000, and you're going to earn 400,000 Capital One miles just from the spend. And then, assuming you actually do it, you're going to earn a total of 350,000 extra. So you're looking at 750,000 Capital One miles for 200,000 spend. Now, if you like do the math on like the return on spend, it's really not that great, but there is some weight in carrying. I guess for lack of a better word, a lot of people don't want to get super into the weeds with credit cards and have like so many of them.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's like, okay, well, I take this American Express like Business Gold, and for 375, even if I like cancel after 1 year or whatever. But like in the back of my head, I know I'm going to cancel probably Amex Gold subscription or a Platinum subscription. But like with the Venture X or for the Venture X for Business, for anybody that doesn't know, like that's a $395 annual fee currently, and people say it's a keeper card because the credits are so good off of it because it's $300 towards Capital One travel every year. So
Mhm.
there's that, and then there's 10,000 miles that they award you every year. So that right there is $400 or somewhere close of value, and that's not even including the Capital One lounges it gets you into and the Priority Pass, and I
Sure.
believe it might have pre-check and global entry.
Oh
Not
wow.
exactly sure. I have to double check on that.
So many perks out of like just so many different credit cards. It can be
Hmm.
challenging to understand them all. That's for sure.
Right, but like for me, it doesn't feel like work. Like my mom was asking me the other day, she's like, "How do you know that off the top of your head?"
Right.
I just said to her, "It's because what you like. My sister is a mobile dog groomer, and she's like a bunch of not a bunch, like two poodles, and she like obsesses over like the architecture of the dog's body and all that stuff." I said, "What Maddie and you obsess about, my sister, is like the dog and the grooming of the dog. What I obsess about is this." It's just because it's like fun to
Sure.
me. Like I
Yeah.
would do
The
this.
game.
I wouldn't. I don't want to say I would do it for free. Because I guess I kind of am doing it for free, but like I get the benefits on the back end. But to me, it's just like I see it as a hobby.
That's amazing. So right now, my wife and I are prioritizing travel. We go to pretty much the same place every summer, same place every winter, and like we just kind of, we're not prioritizing it. But one day I hope to, and so this stuff, gets me excited. Like there are places I want to see, and one day having points and person that whatever you said, the check-in pass and all this stuff. It's cool, but like what we look for in a credit card right now is just what can you get for spend that's not travel. Like we're more interested in the benefits outside of travel.
Mm.
But one day I can totally see why people get like hooked. I follow this one guy. And he talks about, like, he just makes short form content about all the different things you can do with each card. So he'll do, like, talk about the chase cards and what you can, all the special stuff and then the other stuff. And so MX Plum is cool. That'd be cool to have, 60 days instead of 30. I like that a lot.
I actually had the Amex Plum. I had the Amex Plum when I first got started in Amazon, and I got rid of it because the
Really?
annual fee. Yeah, the annual fee wasn't worth it to me. It was only the just straight percent back as
Mm-hmm.
long as you pay in full. Otherwise, there's no amount back. And for me, I don't leverage. I only leverage money that I actually have in my business. I'm not leveraging credit
Same.
ever. So for that reason, I'm not even gonna mess with it anyway. What I recommend over doing that is, especially like if you still have ink cards to um, get your ink card. So the most common one to get in the beginning for someone like us is the Chase Ink Unlimited. So you get a $10,000 limit. Great, ride with that. The Unlimited and the Ink Cash have 12%, or excuse me, 12 months 0% APR on those cards. So what I would do is, get the Unlimited, ride with that. Like play it safe, like I was saying earlier. I don't leverage, and then after, I mean, however much time, it could be a couple months, it could be a year, go and get the cash, and you can do the same thing. You're going to get what, a similar credit limit, but what you can also do is if you go and like branch or maybe even call, you can get a lot of the credit limit that was transferred from your first card to your second card,
Yep.
and then you have 0% APR. Like say you did exactly like I said, you have 0% APR on a cash card of, let's say, nine of the 10,000 from that unlimited and the 10,000 that you actually got approved for on the cash. So now you have 19,000 0% APR. You can ride with that for 12 months. I don't recommend that you over leverage or whatever, but it's always safe to hedge your bet. So you're earning points. You're hedged your bet for that 12-month period if shit hits the fan, and you're not paying American Express some BS crazy annual fee that's really not worth it, in my opinion. And the reason I really just don't like American Express is because at like the snap of your fingers, they'll change the annual fee and the credits, and it's just like this is not what I signed up for with this credit card.
Yeah, I've seen them to two people I know as soon as they paid it off, or they kind of racked up a balance and their spend was inconsistent, and Amex was like, "Hey, you got to pay this. We're not going to approve any more purchases." So I have seen that before too.
It's happened to a buddy of mine too.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden your limit is $20,000 less, and it's like, oh no, that's not good.
For a card they claim is like quote unquote unlimitless.
Unlimited,
Like,
yeah, right, yeah. All right, enough boring points talk. Where's the coolest place you've been? But give me a few. What's the highlight reel? Speaking of, everybody go follow him on Instagram at Matt Canton. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
simple, just my name.
What's
So,
the highlight reel? I know I've seen some stuff.
oh man, there's so many good places. So, if I'll start with the US, since there's obviously a lot of US listeners. If you're on the East Coast, I would definitely get to the Hyatt Regency Orlando. Like if you're going to Universal or Disney World, it's right down the road. They might even have a shuttle that goes there,
they
and
probably do.
it's really nice. I would use a Guest of Honor award or a Suite Upgrade award to stay there. I think you can get breakfast for four, maybe two kids, two adults. I would kind of jig it by basically. I would basically just go like two adults and just be like, hey, like my kids are in the room. Like, can we get food for them? And like just tell your whatever two people you get to go meal. Play it like that. I don't know. I always just try to think outside the box to like get the actual meals. But yeah, that one is really nice. There was one I recently stayed at. Oh, I remember what it was. It was in Nashville. It was called the Holston House Nashville. And if you looked at like you calculated the cents per point, it wasn't really good for points, but I booked it anyway, and I got upgraded to the presidential
Ooh.
suite, which is, to my understanding, it was like the nicest room in the hotel. They gave me like drink coupons. The card was literally like a, what do you call those, like discs? Wow, this is gonna make me sound really young. Like from the 80s or the 90s, a record, and it was in
Oh,
like the
okay.
shape of a record.
Okay.
And
Nashville.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like super nice in Nashville, in out west in Albuquerque, New Mexico. There's the Hyatt Regency, like Tamara or something, and it's on this beautiful property out in Albuquerque, like overlooking the mountain. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. So I recommend that. And then if you were to go international, I mean, oh my God, there's just so many. Here's what I'll say generally about like the Park Hyatt, for example, is like the fanciest or one of the fanciest brands in the Hyatt. ecosystem. I don't think it's that great. If someone told me that you can stay at a Grand Hyatt, you could stay at a Park Hyatt. A Grand Hyatt's usually typically like three or four. A Park Hyatt's, five, minimum like five. If you see a Park Hyatt for like a category three, even like a four, like that's crazy. It's probably in some really cheap place, like Vietnam or Cambodia or something like that. So I forget the question. Oh, where's some of the best places I've been? The Grand Hyatt Jeju. The Grand Hyatt Jeju, it has the biggest Grand Lounge in all of Asia. I get treated exceptionally well there as a Western traveler because they get a lot of Chinese tourists and Korean tourists. So when they see Western people, they tend to like just treat them really well. And then I would also say the Hyatt Regency Da Nang Resort and Spa in Da Nang, Vietnam. That hotel is a category four, so that costs like 15,000 a night if you can catch it off peak at 12,000 points a night. And that place is stunning, stunning. There's probably from one side to the other, there's probably at least a quarter mile just of beach. There's I would say maybe 20 like villa. I guess you'd call them villas, like three bedroom, two bathroom, two floor, two balcony, private pool
Wow.
villas on this property that take up, like an entire third of the property, just beachfront. So yeah, between those ones, I would say that's where it is. I'm going to stay in the Park Hyatt Saigon in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam by the end of this year, so I'm excited for that. And I think I might also stay in the Park Hyatt Chicago
Shoot.
just because I have a free night certificate to use. But off the top of my head, I mean, those are the good ones. I think I also like, I mean, just an honorable mention for something cheap and good. The Grand Hyatt Tampa Bay is really underrated. It's a category three, right by the airport. Good chill spot to hang out, like even if you just have a staycation sort of vibe. So yeah, there's a lot of really good ones in Atlanta too, Cody. Like cheap.
Oh, I wonder if his internet died. It happens. I was looking up those hotels as you were talking about them, and my God, those are pretty. There's just like some
Yeah,
very
I
good
know, right?
sights going on there.
Yeah, like what I've recently stayed at was the Hyatt Regency Da Nang. Are we still recording, by the way?
Yep. Yeah, we're still live.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so I recently stayed at that Hyatt Regency Da Nang, and I stayed at two separate reservations. This is like 2 months ago or something. First
Mhm.
reservation was just me and my brother, and we are like, oh, we're just gonna go for 2 days, like just see how it is. Like, let's just check it out. And it is so nice that I was like, all right, I'm gonna stay for 2 more days, and I brought
That
someone else with me. So when I knew that I was coming back, I was texting the like I don't think it was like the manager of their hotel, but like one of those people that just like concierge people.
yeah.
And she kept texting me back and forth like, okay, if I get like an opening for a suite upgrade, like I'll definitely let you know, but like we're completely sold out, blah blah blah. And like the night before, she texted me, she's like, actually, I have a suite for you, and like I upgraded you. It's like the last thing we have. Like it's incredible,
That's
blah blah
awesome.
blah.
That
So
that beach view is just mm, more
yeah,
than
did you
that.
did you see it?
I just googled like kind of the views around it, and it's just like my God, that is beautiful.
When you go, especially to Asia, at the top level, I don't really think it's just for like Hyatt or something like that. Just the quality overall, just it just takes it a whole nother step up a notch
Yeah,
in comparison to the US. And I haven't been to Europe, but based on what people say, like from Europe as well, it's not nearly as expensive. The redemptions are way cheaper, obviously, because the cost of living in these places is way cheaper,
yeah,
and it's this what you get, the value you get is just it's incredible. There's nothing you can do. Like what I'm planning to do is possibly so I'm going to Vietnam, back to Vietnam, flying Q suites, and I get to Vietnam in early October, and then I'll be there for about 45 days. I believe your visa as an American you can get for 45 days, and then at
oh
that point I'm
wow,
faced with a decision. where do I go?
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Welcome back.
So
Sorry
at that
about
point,
that.
you're good. So at that point, I'm faced with the decision, like, where do I go? Do I want to fly around? Do I want to go to Bangkok? Do I want to just see, um, do I want to go somewhere and just renew my visa and go back? So that
Mm-hmm.
leads me to one of my options that I have is I can go to either Malaysia or Indonesia. And I mean, I could go to Bali, but the cheapest thing they have is Category 2, and I'm not super excited about going to Bali. Personally, I want to be more immersed in the culture than just around a bunch of expats that are just doing Western things anyway and
Mm-hmm.
eating cheeseburgers. So, so I'm not really super excited about going to Bali, but there's like between Malaysia and Indonesia, there's a handful of places like the Hyatt Regency Yogyakarta or something. It's a Category 1, so I can go there, get really good quality stay, all that stuff, be in like a good place, and I can stay there for a freaking month. Like literally a month at average rate is going to cost me 150,000 points if I did my numbers right. Or wait, yeah, yeah, no,
Wow.
90,000 or no, 50 times 3. Yeah, 150,000.
150.
So that's like kind of what I'm thinking about what I should do, but yeah, there's a lot of really good sweet spots out there, and it's my job to go find it. And I'm trying to check off the
It's
brands
amazing.
and stay at the cool stuff, and yeah, all that.
That's so
That's
cool.
sweet. There's like no other job you can. I feel like you can have that much just freedom to do whatever you want and travel for basically nothing. Like that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's freaking
And
awesome, and
the
there's a lot of opportunity. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry, I think I'm lagging. The way you do it is you're building a reselling business. You're doing OA to prep, and then you're just focusing on
Hmm.
increasing spend with lower risk stuff, and then you use the points to travel to all these crazy places.
Hmm.
Is that pretty much the gist of it? I mean, is there obviously knowing which points to get matters, but like that's pretty like that's big picture. That's kind of uh, simply put.
Yeah, yeah. Simply put, it gets really deep, and if like I always what's the word? I tell people like, hey, if you have like questions or you don't know what to do, you can talk to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is like 80+% right, like even for the free version.
Mm-hmm.
And if you maybe are getting some inconsistencies or whatever, what I do is I basically just check it, be like, hey, look, like according to this, like it's telling me it's actually this, so like double check Flyer Talk and Monkey Miles and Reddit and tell me what you're seeing. So like I'll physically tell it, like if I have a question about a specific, I mean, it doesn't have to be credit cards or whatever. Excuse me. I'll talk to ChatGPT and I'll say, "Hey, look, I think like this is the case. What you're actually telling me is that this is the case. So can you reference this? Like I'll give them a screenshot of whatever it is. Like according to the evidence that I gave you, are you sure that that's the case?" And then, it will give me the best sort of information that it possibly can, just in relation to credit cards and whatever, but I'll use it for just about anything nowadays. And I need to use it for
Yeah,
more.
I feel
It's
the
so
same way.
powerful these
Yeah,
days. Like it's just crazy.
I still have the free
Yeah.
version of ChatGPT. I still haven't upgraded. Amy Carducci was in my store the other day, and she was like, "Look at this!" And she like pulled her ChatGPT around and was like showing me like the last 5 things she did on it. She pays for the premium or
Hmm.
whatever, and it was so cool. It was like the stuff that she's doing. Like I wouldn't have even ever thought to ask. And then I'm trying to use it more because of how powerful it is. Like I don't want to wait and not have figured it out, or like started to use it, and be kind of behind. Because like before I talked to her, all of my eBay listings were literally like, I'm just putting like a basic description, like super basic, and she's having ChatGPT like put filler words or not keyword strategy and like all kind of fancy stuff, and
Yeah, and you can AI description it.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that nowadays too. Um,
Well, oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, if there's anything in particular like that you want to like talk about, like that we put in the notes besides the credit stuff, like that's I can talk for like probably several more hours just about like different credit
I can
strategies
tell, yeah.
and whatever. But yeah, like if you want to like, I'll let you drive the conversation.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, I was gonna say before we move on from travel, I'll share I'll share a travel story from my life. I'm doing this all wrong, by the way, but I have you ever heard of a microtel? It's like a
Hmm.
micro
Yeah,
hotel. Yeah, on
yeah.
multiple occasions. Not recently, but I specifically remember me and my wife, 4 kids at the time. We have 6 now. We stopped. It was like a $48 a night place or something. and,
Oh
we,
my God.
and so you go in this like super sketchy like alleyway like piece of crap place, and then we slept at a microtel, and then we are out at 7 a.m. going RA trip or whatever it was. So yeah, that's the other side of what you know, all this other stuff, and yeah, I need to get better with it. So okay, so let's talk Bitcoin for a second. You put in the
Yeah.
notes Bitcoin, and I that's fascinating to me. Like I know a little bit about Bitcoin, but like what's your thoughts on crypto? What's got you excited
Yeah.
about it? What's the future?
That's a good question and a very open-ended one at that. So with crypto, here's what I like to think, or just really with anything with just my investments or um, just my philosophy in general. I try to match what I know, like a balance between what I know about a certain uh, type of investment and what I can handle in terms of volume, in terms of management between my investments, right? So, like, I'll just use like figurative numbers. You could be someone who's like has a has $1 million, right? But maybe they're like a homeowner with like 2 kids and like a family. Well, if you're a homeowner and let's say your net worth is $1 million, well, 500,000 of that could be tied up in your house. Like if you have a really good job and you just want to start, reselling to make some extra money, hopefully one day, like get out of your job and have your own freedom back. Well, you could, be a millionaire on paper, but 500,000 of that is tied up in your house. Like, are you really going to be taking that money out? No, like maybe that's not the best investment, but I mean, you have 500,000 in your house, you're not going to be using all of that money. So
Sure.
for me, like I guess what I'm trying to say is for me, I am more of a different people have different philosophies on diversification. For me, I am put my eggs into a couple baskets that I know and understand, and not just one basket that I know and understand, and protect those couple baskets. So
Sure.
for me, Bitcoin is one of those things. I have a couple baskets, right? So like I now have a rental property. That's one of my baskets. I have Bitcoin. That's one of my baskets. I have just making money online, arbitrage, all that stuff. That's one of my baskets. Those are really like my three main baskets. And
Wow.
then from there, I analyze, what I have and allocate what I can. So for me, Bitcoin has really just been something that I just slowly put money into, almost like a savings account. And I didn't realize it at the time when I started in like 2018, but I more or less was really onto something, and I've made a good amount of money
Not bad.
in Bitcoin, but I've also lost a ton of money in Bitcoin because um, when Sam Bankman-Fried like did the whole Ponzi scheme against everyone, his company went down, and his company was also borrowing money from BlockFi. Well, there was through a series of events and mistakes on my part, I lost what's now worth probably $40,000 of staked crypto,
Mm.
and that's gone. That's
Mm-hmm.
gone forever. But I mean, it's because like also I take responsibility for like what I did. I was leveraging it and holding it in BlockFi, not in my own cold storage, and I didn't know what I was doing. So like nowadays, you like, yes, I still have crypto. I have a significant amount of crypto, and I don't trade it. I don't even really talk about it a ton because for me, I just see it as a bank account, and I also see it to put it simply, I see it the way that the potential thereof the internet was in like the 90s. Totally did not make sense, but you understand what I'm
No,
saying.
no, I
Yeah.
Like
get it.
the
Yeah.
way that people saw, I wasn't born at that time, but the way I imagine that people saw the internet in the 90s is like what I see crypto and artificial intelligence today. And I don't need the money. I believe in the investment, and I've had it for plenty of time now. Even after losing that much money, I'm still doing okay. And I recommend, even at today's prices of like what 120,000 for a Bitcoin or something, I still think it's a great time to buy. Like, are you going to be buying it at like the absolute best price right now? Is it going to go lower? Yeah, probably. But like, honestly, I don't know because I'm not an investor that's just, analyzing the charts and whatever. I'm just a guy that's like, all right, well, I had an extra, 2, 3 grand this month. Like, I'm going to put some in there for a rainy day,
Yeah.
and my child's going to thank me one day,
Hmm.
and you're in a position, hopefully where you're sitting here saying, I think one day this will ultimately give me my complete and utter freedom. I don't know if
Interesting.
that makes sense.
There's a few people who have gotten that exactly from Bitcoin, so it is wholly possible that that can be an avenue for some people. Especially getting in as early as you did too. Like you're talking about, 2019. That's cheap compared to now. So
Well, right, but I wasn't like, I bought plenty of Bitcoin at, 70,000, 80,000. I bought plenty of Bitcoin at those numbers, and like, let's also remember I lost, I mean, at the time it was probably like 18 or 15 grand worth of mostly Bitcoin. Um, but like, even at those numbers, I'm still up a little bit in the grand scheme of things. And I've just been buying just forever. I'm not selling, I'm not trading, I'm not doing anything. And I recommend that other people do the same because we're in a situation right now where retail is just now getting in, and the markets are being manipulated by, these hedge funds, these people who want to start mutual funds and all these crazy things behind crypto. And it's like people are so caught up in what's happening in the day to day, and can't just like zoom out and just look and see where the world is headed. And that's like most of my conviction behind it. It's not really anything like technical.
gotcha. Are
It's
you
just
only
using my
doing
head.
Are you only doing Bitcoin, or do you do some of the other subsidiary ones?
No, I mean, I have like maybe $100 worth of Ethereum or whatever, but it was like from a while back, and it's just sitting in a Coinbase account. So like, no, not really though.
Gotcha.
So that's just kind of my take, my stance on it, because if I'm not trading it or doing anything with it anyway, I kind of want to just be as safe as possible, because the thing about Bitcoin is it's truly decentralized, and no one can control or manipulate the quantity uh, or the entire network as a whole. So, I mean, as long as the demand for the coin is there, then you're fine. Which I think we're much beyond any sort of complete collapse of what could happen with Bitcoin. I mean, you never can rule it out, but
Yeah.
that's just my
Yeah.
2 cents on it.
You'd have to get every single person who has it to be like, "Oh, well, it's over," and that'll never happen.
Yeah.
People really have faith in the decentralized currency aspect
And
of
I
it, I
think,
feel like.
yeah, and I think one thing that a lot of people fail to realize with companies, I mean, maybe not with Bitcoin, but you can look at it with like some of the world's biggest companies. They're literally too big to fail. Like, think about what would happen if Amazon went bankrupt. Or, I mean, even how many airlines does the United States have? Like, big airlines, like what, maybe five, six?
Hmm.
Like, if two or three of the, even one of those started to go under, like you look at what was happening during COVID, like the government has to in some way, shape, or form subsidize them. Like, we're not going to just let every single one of our airlines go under. You know what I mean? It's just the point I'm trying to make is some things are too big to fail. The Federal Reserve, I don't want to say actually it's too big to fail, but like it's too big for the government in this case to not try to save it if it is heading in the direction of failing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if, like, for example, the Federal Reserve, if the Federal Reserve collapses, like, our entire economy is effed. Like, not even just like on a national level, but like, because we're the United States, on a global level. So I think we're kind of at that stage with Bitcoin, or at least getting there. I mean, it's bigger than, if you look at the market cap, it's bigger than Amazon right now. It's like the 5th biggest like asset in the world in terms of dollar like value wise.
Oh, wow.
It's wild.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, like it's up against like Apple and Amazon right now.
I remember when Bitcoin, at some point in my journey, I don't remember when it was, but it went down, it went up and then it went down into like the 20s, or it maybe even been lower than 20. And I remember like spending a whole night, like I got really, really into crypto and like learning all the different stuff and the different, I staked some stuff in, I don't know, it's a bunch of different things that I did and lost money on, but I was really into it. And I specifically remember one night, I was like, I could buy a Bitcoin. I could buy one right now and own a Bitcoin. And I was like, maybe it'll go to 50 grand one day, like maybe it'll be, and I don't have any conviction either way right now, but I was like, it could be, I could buy one Bitcoin and own one. And I didn't do it. It's probably the right decision for me at the time because I would have just sold it. But I regret not like doing enough research to feel convicted about it, like to have like a full conviction on it, because like I think my path could have been different if I had been more convinced that it was Bitcoin. I think in my mind I was worried that Bitcoin would be would go to zero one day. Like like one day some event would happen, like what you mentioned with Sam, what's his face, like there would be something like that, a big rug pull and everybody would lose. I got into NFTs. I was like super into NFTs.
You were so into NFTs.
I was so excited about NFTs, and I was up 50 grand on NFTs at one point. Yeah, I did. I mean, I was like heavy, and then I should have sold. I should have sold. And
bag holding.
Yeah. So
you were caught bag holding.
I was caught bag holding, very much so, and embarrassingly so. So.
Do you still hold NFTs today?
Oh yeah, I have like 50 or something. They're worthless. I mean, that like a couple of them are worth like $100 or something. But yeah, I still came out about break even, like kind of like the story you told. Like I still came out about break even. I may have even made a little bit of money. But like I said, I was up like a lot at one point, and if I had sold and just like went home, it would have been great. But I stayed at the casino, and I got crapped on. And
rest is history.
Yep. That's how it goes. So speaking of conviction, in your notes you wrote that clarity equals conviction. What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually heard that like maybe on a podcast or something. A lot of this is just from my daily life that I wrote in the notes. Just about, whatever we can talk about, like for the listeners and stuff. So clarity equals conviction. I heard that probably from, I don't even know, like Hormozy or one of the books I was listening to. But I mean, I think it's self-explanatory. If like, take it when you're looking at a keepograph for, a lot of our Amazon sellers on here. If the better the graph, the more clarity you have, that you're going to be able to sell this at what you think or higher. So you're going to be much more confident. So it's kind of like the same thing applies, in this case, to like your life, for example. if you have clarity about what you want in your life, you're like journaling, writing exactly what you want, when you're going to get it, like what it's going to look like, the color of the if you like if it's a house you want, right? I like for me, my dream is there's several dreams that I have, but one of them is I want to buy a lake house a couple hours from my hometown, and I want it to be a 4 bedroom house, probably like modern white with big, beautiful, I don't know what you call it, like giant kind of front windows, and have like a dock with like 4 jet skis and like a ski nautique and a pontoon boat, and like all the things, like that's what I
Sure.
want. I don't need like anything huge or whatever. So in this example, the clarity that I have behind like the dream that I have of buying a lake house and then being able to share that with my family and be in a geographical location to where they feel like it's always worth it for them to come out and visit Matt at his lake house and let's go ride jet skis and go skiing. Like I know exactly what I want. So therefore it's going to lead to the conviction that I have of, hey, I can do, basically just reverse engineer it. Do this, and this, and eventually like I'll get there. Because for me, I don't want to say like I'm super hyper focused on what I want in my life, but like I know what I want. So like right now, I know it, buying a property for like me to live in for like me my house doesn't make any sense because all I want to do, I know for the next like 1 to 3 years is like travel. I want to live overseas. I want to pay, a couple $100 a month to live in a nice spot, probably like where I'm going in a couple months is Da Nang, and I'm gonna rent something for a couple months. I'm gonna hang out there. I'm gonna stack money, probably buy some Bitcoin and do my thing. And then from there, eventually, I'm gonna be looking for this house. So, like, I know my point is I know what I want, and because I know what I want, because I've written about it, I've spoken about it, I've visualized it. The really you just have to wait for time to catch up to itself, especially if you're just taking the steps to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
So
there with
yeah,
you in my
that's
head.
pretty much what that means.
Yeah, I'm picturing. I can see the lake house. I can smell like the water. Like that's really cool to say it like that. I don't think I have anything like that. I think that's probably something I can do better with my mindset and whatnot. Is knowing exactly what I want, and that's that's cool that you have that. Well, hey, I'll take an invite too once you get out there. I'll get on a
Yeah,
jet ski.
yeah,
Go
let's do
fishing.
it. Yeah.
Hey, so journaling. What do you write in a journal? I want it. Like I've always wanted to journal, and I think I'd be really good at it. But and also I'm so dumb. Like I will literally like have an epiphany and then forget it and have it again 6 months later.
Mhm.
And like I feel like if I journaled that stuff, like it would maybe stick with me, or I would have more clarity around it. So like what is journaling, or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So like recently I kind of had laid off of it a little bit. And the reason is because not because I think that there's anything wrong with it or whatnot, but it's mostly because I look at it like with habit stacking. So if you get up in the morning and you know like the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna work for like an hour, for me it's like okay, like after I work, then I'm gonna journal. Well, if I don't like have that sort of habit in place, then I'm never actually going to complete the stack that I have. Because if I know okay, I'm gonna work and then I finish and I journal, and so I haven't been doing that. So ever since I've been back home, I've been kind of like out of my mojo, and I haven't
Hmm.
been doing as much of the journaling or whatnot. But I think the best thing about journaling is when you have something that you feel like you want to write about, just write. Just write like going back to the clarity and conviction thing. I write about the lake house that I want. I write about it as if it's already there, and like I purposely talk to myself positively because at least from the books that I've read and audiobooks and podcasts I've listened to, it's going to do. You might as well speak as if it's already there, because if you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice. And either way, it's not going to make it. If it actually doesn't happen, right? Well, at least I tried. Like at least I was actually thinking about magnetizing this into my life. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't happen. Well, I probably didn't take the necessary actions to actually get there, right? If I never
Sure.
actually go out and look, oh, what are my options for a lake house out, within an hour of my hometown, I'm never going to actually find it. It's not like it's going to magically pop up, but if you actively talk about, and conceptualize something that you want in your life, and then you go out and you get it, and you take the steps to go get it, then it's going to happen. So, like translating into journaling, it's really just like talking about those sorts of things. And like when you have a shower thought, my first inclination is like take a video, just like selfie, or journal, just based on what it is, or what I feel like, if I should feel like this is okay, this is a little more personal or private, or I feel like I should share it, things like that. And then I'll kind of just go from there. I will also use ChatGPT sometimes, and I'll be like, hey, I'm thinking and feeling this way, and I want to maybe talk about this, or maybe I feel uncomfortable about this, and I'm looking for like sort of prompts to talk about, in relation to these sort of subjects. Like, can you give me, something to go off to write about?
Interesting.
And so do things like this, and see things like that all the time. And I think you can learn a lot by using ChatGPT for this example. Just walking around all day, using it to help you improve your life. And I think there's a fine line between using it to help you improve your life and using it to make yourself brain dead. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Don't do that to use yourself to make it brain dead. Use it to make your life much simpler. Like I'll use it to obviously complete tasks, but one of the very underrated things is how it can help you socially, psychologically, dealing with relationships, dealing with how to react to somebody, or hey, I did this
Like
sort
a
of wrong, or
therapist.
maybe I acted this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's helped me a lot in that way too.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm more the brain dead side, I think. And speaking of the voice memo, I know what you're talking about because like recently, like within the past month or so, I was driving, and you just have like these moments of clarity where like you have all these kind of pieces going around. For me, it's like this, anyways. You have kind of all these pieces floating, and then like you have a moment of clarity, and like you're like, this fits here, this fits here. I know, and I distinctly remember probably like a 12-minute voice memo that I left myself, and I was like, I had just drank some coffee, so I was kind of hyped up, anyways, and I was like, I have a membership group. Matt, I think I'm not sure if you're in there. I think you're in there, but it's a leads group for
Yeah, yeah.
Amazon. Yeah. Um, oh, I think you're frozen. Anyways, I had an offer to sell it. I had an offer. Somebody wanted to buy it, and it was good money. Like it would be like it would have been a good idea for me to sell it potentially. And I was driving, and like all the pieces were kind of moving around, and I left myself this voice memo, and the opening line is, Cody, do not sell the Bolo Club. And then like I listed like all these reasons why, and like what I wanted to do with it, and the long-term vision, and like how we were going to take it to the next level, and like what what I wanted to do with it. And like that was kind of like, I guess it's not journaling, but like whenever you have a moment of clarity like that, like I see journaling or a voice memo or making a piece of content about it, for me it's like you're capturing it. Like you're like, instead of, because like for me it's so easy. I'll have a moment like that, and then literally an hour later I'm like bipolar. It's just like just gone, and that's terrible. If you can capture those moments, like, I totally agree. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I like just today, for example, I was thinking about something in the shower, and I was like, wow, that's like totally needs to be said. And like comes to this point now, I didn't take a video. I don't remember what it was, and it's gone forever. Hopefully it
Yep.
can pop back into
Yep.
my head. Yeah,
Okay,
so that's
so
what happens.
yeah, hey, we're getting close to an hour, and I want to respect your time too, man. I wanted to ask, one of the things you put in your note was faith. What does that what does that mean to you, and what does that
Hmm.
mean to you?
Yeah, so I've been a Catholic ever since I was young, and I was baptized. I went through communion and confirmation in eighth grade and all that stuff. But I never was like a really devout like Catholic or anything like that. And recently, I've been going through like a pretty tough time. I was telling like Cody and James like I don't want to get into it too much right now, but it's made me realize that it's like I was talking about earlier about like speaking things into existence, and if like they don't come, then well, like at least you tried it. It's the same thing. Like you might as well have faith in what you believe in. Like for me, I guess we're talking about religion. I have faith in God that there's a higher power. He will, he's there and protect me and everything like that. Um, because what's the alternative? Like if I were to just say, okay, I don't, right? I mean, maybe
Yeah,
that's like a
or I give
selfish
up
thing to.
on figuring it out. Like a lot of people do that. I give up. Yeah, I hear you.
Hmm. And um, I've seen amazing things happen. Like for example, I'm the middle child, and my mom has told this famous story, at least in my family, for ever since like I can remember. So my brother, he is 14 months older than me, and so my mom was obviously pregnant with him first, and he was born. And long story short, he had a lot of seizures as a baby, like a lot. Like I'm talking hundreds, maybe thousands of seizures. They didn't know what was wrong with him. He was in and out of the hospital. When he was a newborn, he was released um, with a blood sugar level of 40, which is below the legal limit to even release a newborn baby from
Wow.
the
Jeez.
hospital. So long story short, they didn't know this at the time. It took like several months for them to even figure this out. But he had still has a condition called nasidioblastosis. It's basically a reverse diabetic where he's producing too much insulin. His pancreas is producing too much insulin to stabilize his blood sugar, and so it was sending his blood sugar super super low to the point where it's making him have seizures and then potentially die. Um, so they're in and out of the hospital. My mom and my dad when my brother was like a couple months old, and she was going in between surgeries, and I think it was right before he had to have his pancreas taken out, or maybe they were like there for a checkup in Cleveland Clinic, just going back and forth, and my mom and dad are showering at the hospital doing all this crazy stuff, and she like used the restroom and went to go get a shower at the Cleveland Clinic, and when she got out, she looked in the toilet because I think she had already used the toilet, so she knew like she had flushed it and it was clean or clean. And anyway, she looked and there was four coins in the toilet in the shape of a cross. And I don't remember exactly like what coins were what, but they all had like specific years on them. One was like my parents' marriage year, my brother's birth year, and then like both my parents' birth year. And so she collected all the coins out of the toilet and just like held on to them. Didn't really think too much of them, but just kind of thought it was odd. And so like an hour later or whatever, she was going in for like her appointment, just checking in, because the doctors are just trying to figure out what's wrong with my brother at this point. He's 2 years old, and they said, we know what's wrong with your son. He needs to have like basically this life-saving surgery, and if he doesn't, he's going to end up dying in his sleep one of these nights. And so they performed the surgery, and to this day, he's my brother, and he's awesome. So it's just like that's one little story of like something that happened that I look back on, and I'm like, holy crap! Like the fact that that happened is just absolutely insane. Like to put in perspective for you, there is, I mean, I don't know exactly, but what I've been told, maybe around 30 people in the United States that have nasidioblastosis. So it's
Wow.
so rare. It's so rare because typically what happens is newborn babies have seizures as a young, as newborns, couple months old, and the seizures kill them in their sleep. And so the
Yeah.
parents, by the time they get around to see the child, they I don't know what exactly happened, but they, had a seizure and lost their life. It was just like a little newborn baby. It's crazy. So yeah,
That's a wild story. That's
that's something.
crazy.
Yeah, and actually, just recently when I was in Nashville, I met these guys on Broadway. I don't know if you guys ever been to Nashville, really awesome place, but just these two guys, and got to talking. They said they liked my shoes, so got to talking with them for 10, 20 minutes, and he was like, they're like one of those people that like really just talk about God and Jesus, but they like weren't pushy about it, and it was cool. Like they were just being friends, and they said to me at one point like, hey, actually, like not that long ago, we were in the Philippines, like just doing a mission trip, and we healed a deaf person. Like legitimately, they healed a deaf person. They showed me a video of them like at some gigantic convention center, and like their whole church or whatever, maybe 10 guys, just like around this Filipino guy, and they just took a video, and they just did like a prayer for him. Like I don't know exactly what was said, but long story short, like at the end they like snapped in his ear, and he goes, whoa, whoa, like what the heck? And actually, now that I think of it, might have been twins, like some twin Filipino boys, maybe like, 16, 17, 18 years old.
Wow.
And they just performed this prayer for him. And after they snapped in his ear and they were like, what the heck? And you know, they became, like able to hear after being deaf for, 18, 20 years. So yeah,
Wow.
I think it's good to just believe. I'd rather believe and not like reap the benefits than not believe and not receive the benefits. Also, obviously.
Yeah. That's so interesting. What a crazy story about your brother. Wow, that's wild. Um,
Yeah.
okay. Well, one more thing before we let you go. You put in your notes that 300K is halfway to a million. I think that's regarding revenue, but I'm not sure. If it is, what's your goal? What are your goals with the business like in the next 5 years? Where are you hoping to take things? What does that look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I say that, I'm more referring to net worth.
Okay.
Because they say like your first 100K is like your hardest, and then once you're in a position to where you can get the 100K, then say in my case, okay, if I have 100K and it's split across, like in my case, I'm juggling like three baskets, right? So I have, you know, like my situation is not 100K, but you have a little bit of, say, Bitcoin. You run your Amazon business for your active income. That's where you're getting most of your money, and you own some Bitcoin, or like you own a house or whatever. So between whatever net worth you have, it's kind of spread across. Well, once you have 100K, you can do a little more. Once you have 300, you can do a little more. You can apply more leverage. So like once you get to 300K, it's a lot easier to get to 400K than it was to get from 1 to 200, for example, or
Yeah,
obviously
sure.
0 to 100. So like once you have the leverage, then it's just a game of like just letting time play out, and obviously having your investments in sound, safe, good places. Like for me, um, like I have a large percentage of my life and net worth into Bitcoin. So like as obviously Bitcoin grows, like as I live my life, like I don't need it in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, but like in 5 years, like when I have treated it like basically like a savings bank account for 5 years and I need it, like I'm gonna go after it. And because I've at one point, sunk a lot of money into it and like kind of applied that leverage and let time do its thing, it's kind of compounded. So it's really just, getting at the fact of like at the beginning, it's the hardest. And that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. Like once you're at 500K, I think like from 0 to 500K is probably going to take you at least 5 times longer than 500K to a million, if
Hmm.
I were to guess.
I would
I
agree.
think you're right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So that's why I said that, and that's obviously why it's not like 0 to 500K and 500K to a million. Actually, I just like these are just a lot of these things are just things that like I hear in an audiobook or I
Yeah.
see in a reel or something like that, and I pick up every day, and I'm just like, oh, I should write that down. Or like, oh, I know I'm going in this podcast, like maybe we could talk about that. It could be interesting.
Yeah.
Like I should write that down. So that's what a lot of this stuff like was that we're talking about, and yeah, that's my take on that.
I would love to hear more short form content from you. Like if you like obviously, it's a grind, but like if you just put like some of this stuff and maybe you're doing it somewhere, I don't know, but like this could really help people. Like some of these especially with the credit card points and then like even if it's even if you hear 300K into is halfway to a million and you get on and you say, "Hey, Leela Hormozy said this, and here's what I have to, here's what I thought about it." I think you could do. I think you could make whether you monetize it or not, but you could make some sort of difference. I think with making more content, and I think it itched the same scratch that journaling does because you put it out there, and then like some guys like, "Wow, that really helped me." That's a good, it's a good feeling for me at least.
Yeah, I know I'm very inconsistent and like I get like motivated to do it and then I'm like not
Yeah, yeah.
motivated to do it. And
It's
then
a
like it's
grind.
just like this yeah, it's just kind of like this kind of never-ending cycle and right now because I'm not monetized from it, I'm also not incentivized or motivated to do it.
Right. Yep.
So that's kind of my thing, but like if I know like okay, a bunch of people are gonna like use my referrals and whatever, like and that starts happening, then I probably will. And there's also a part of me that doesn't really like to put myself out there too much.
Sure.
Um, but then there's also the part of me that's like, oh, I don't care, like whatever. And so it's just like finding that sort of middle ground of like, okay, well, I should put out quality stuff rather than just like raw, unedited. But then on the flip side, it's like, okay, well, if I don't put this out raw, unedited, like I don't want to do it. Like I'm just too lazy because for me, it's not about like making the money. Like it's to me, it's more about like the principle. Okay, what am I doing? What am I offering? Like why am I even posting and like what am I trying to get out of this, like I've had
Hmm.
opportunities like with different people where they're like, hey man, there's like so much opportunity like in the course space and selling information and stuff on Amazon, and it's like I'm I'm more than confident that I have the skills to be able to teach somebody, but it's like, do I want to monetize that? Is that really even what I'm focusing on? So I guess that leads into the next part of your question that I should answer is like, what do I see in like happening in the next like 5 years, 3 5 years? I think the marketplace will continue to evolve. I mean, obviously we've seen like Nike gating is a lot. Like if you're an arbitrage seller and you have like something to exploit, like you should absolutely do it and like go hard with it. The difference between like an average arbitrage seller and a great one is the great ones know when to go hard in the paint. Um, and the good
Totally
ones or
agree.
the okay ones will just simply they'll make wrong calls. Like I'm trying
Hmm.
to explain to one of my friends right now that's going from like an FBM RA model to like an OA to prep model, like you should not be betting the horse or even 5% of the horse on a farm. Like you should be betting like half a percent, like a percent of the horse on the farm, if that makes sense. Like 1% of the available amount you had to spend, cross that, all across whatever opportunities you have, and like you test stuff and this is great, like go back to it, or maybe you can't restock it at that price, well, like archive it so next time the sale comes around, like when you're ready, and like then you can go balls deep. Oh yeah, so yeah, I guess to answer your question is be keen and understanding to know when those sort of opportunities come. But for me, I see Amazon as like a tier. This is kind of like something I made up, like a tier like 1 to sort of 4 level opportunity. So I guess if you like look at it in like Alex Hormozy terms, you're looking at it like opportunity and operator out of 10. So like arbitrage, in my opinion, on Amazon is something like a 4 or 5 opportunity right now, somewhere in the middle, maybe a little better. Um, and even if you're a level 10 operator, like what's the best version that you can receive? Maybe version is not the right word. Like what's the best case scenario out of that? And I think at a certain point you have to grow out of it. So like for me, I guess my goal, my 5 to 10 year goal is basically become financially free and grow the assets and watch the eggs in the basket that I have. And kind of one of those things too is I know in my head I need to get 5 properties. So if I have 5 houses or 5 properties, really no matter which way you chop it up or you rent it out, like I know that can like pretty much support me for the rest of my life, between
Mm-hmm.
5. So if I can,
Interesting.
get 4 and then use the 4 to like, basically help me live in one or something like that, then that's kind of something I'm looking at right now. But I'm also like on the flip side thinking, okay, well, I mean, for the next year, 2, 3 years, I'm probably going to be mostly in cheap places anyway. So I'm going to stack my paper, put it in some investments that are favorable for my freedom and passive sort of investments and kind of go from there. So I think it looks something like that, but I don't know exactly.
Yeah, sure. That's interesting. So hedging, doing the e-commerce stuff, arbitrage, but then, the thing that takes you to the next level is buying real estate and doing more. Geez, we didn't even talk about that, but next time. By then you'll have another door. But man, that's dude. It's been so nice talking with you. Any parting words? We've got probably most of our listeners are like arbitrage people, but like. They're all
Hmm.
over. Like, any parting words you want to leave the audience with?
Um, I would just like to emphasize the idea of stacking. Um, this Sharif Asa, or I couldn't tell you his name, but whoever I heard it from, he said this, and it's so simple, but it's so intelligent, and I think it's more important more than ever, especially with AI and automation
Sure.
and people's just needing skills to bring value to the marketplace. Stacking, just the idea of stacking your skills together to create something cooler, it is where I think there's a lot of value in today's marketplace and where a lot of value can be derived, especially if you're trying to offer a digital product or something, or even just coaching. For example, like for me, like if someone comes to me and they're like, hey, like I want to pay for some coaching. Okay, great. Like I don't have anything to course or whatever to sell, but there is some value there because of in some ways I've been able to separate myself as a businessman because I understand credit very well, because I've been pretty well traveled. I understand what to do, what not to do, why you should stay at a certain place for a little longer, why you should move, like what's the reasons to go to a place, what's the reasons to look over. So all of
Sure.
these little skills that I stacked on top of each other has given me a little edge, like for example with the Hyatt Business Credit Card. Most people, yeah, they're paying like the $200 annual fee, but like I'm profiting $1,000 a year from it just because I understood how to leverage my status, how to make money from the status and like also take advantage of it and like reap the benefits and rewards and be treated like a king when I'm staying at like Hyatt's in this case.
Hey, I've seen the food you're eating. You are being treated like a king. 100% you are, and I'm jealous. So,
Yeah.
well, man, thank you again, James. You got any questions or any last
No,
thoughts? Or
man.
yeah,
That
okay.
was that was a lot of information
Yeah.
to digest.
Please, let's set a time down the road. I'd love to do another one and talk about because we said we're having Matt on, and then he sends me this note, and he's like, hey, I've thought a lot about this. Here's all the things that that we can talk about. And it's like a lot. Like you should make more content. That's what I think. But
I agree.
anyways, no, shut up, James. You should make more content too.
Don't tell me what to do.
No, you're definitely right. I just need to be a lot more consistent. When I feel like maybe there's not something so interesting, at least to me, I'll like lack the post it. So like kind of right now, ever since I got back about 5 weeks ago from Vietnam. Like to me, it's just like none of this is interesting. But I'm just like kind of going through this, whole process that I guess maybe I'll talk about at a later date. And
Sure.
it's like, well, a lot of it I can't talk about, but then there's also parts of it where it's just like it's so boring, it's so redundant. I'm just going to a coffee shop, working, then going
Yeah.
for a run, then going to the gym, then working, then eating dinner, then doing it all again, And it's just like everything is so redundant, but it's just like adding up to something so great. So we'll
Love
eventually
that.
get there.
Yeah. Well, can't wait to hear more of your story. Matt Canton on Instagram. Go follow him. Also, go follow James on social media. This poor guy. He gets on here and does a podcast every week, and nobody follows him. And I think he's only got like 13 followers or something
Yep.
On Instagram.
Total.
Red Olive Industries. Hey, Matt, thanks, man. Goodbye, everybody. I know we're good. All right, goodbye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
Yep. Thanks. Appreciate you, man.